And welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to do almost a throwback to how I built my channel, which was talking about these beautiful Hemi cars. Originally, if you go back to the first line of videos I did, every time I bought one of these cars, I would do the 10 things I love, the 5 things I hate, and those videos always did really well. Well, I've had quite a few people over the last couple of months ask me how I really love this car, and here's why. And Dodge, if you're listening, it's because they want to get into the Dodge community. Nothing changed. Every year that I've had these cars, I've been in these cars maybe 5-6 years, there were new people, like I was one, coming into the Dodge community from some other community. I came from owning a bunch of BMWs and then fell in love with a RT on a dealership lot one day and decided to buy it because it was affordable and it was cool and it looked awesome. It brought back memories. It hit some chord inside, some nerve inside of me that got me back excited about cars again. And I figured, well, my BMW for $100,000 was a gargantuan piece of crap and not reliable. Might as well spend $35,000, $40,000 on something that's not reliable. And it turned out that they were very reliable. But today I wanted to go back and do this 10 things I love about this car, because there are still people, like I was, wanting to get into these cars. They see them. I talk to these people all the time. They see these cars, they ask about them, they want to get them, but now they can't. They can't buy a brand new one, but they can buy used. And that still makes this community and these cars available. And they're not people who would entertain the idea of a Mustang for whatever reason. This one hits the same chord. So because these things are available out there, I thought, I'm gonna tell you what I love about this car. And I've had it now for a year and a half, and it was such a glorious day because I traded in my Dodge Charger Scat Pack at the time. But to be clear, I've owned eight of these cars, between Hellcat Red Eye, Demon 170, bunch of Scat Packs, an RT. I've owned them all and I've enjoyed them all. But I will tell you, the car I love the most out of all the cars always comes back to the Scat Pack. This is my favorite car. And it's not because it's the one I have now. Any of the Scat Packs I have had are certainly my favorite version of the Hemi cars. So if you're looking at buying one of these things, these 10 reasons might resonate with you. But let's talk about the first reason. The first reason, and forgive this stupid white mic, because I lost my black mic, meaning I'm gonna find it as soon as this video's over. So I'm gonna point this thing at the car now, so you have to see this stupid appendage growing from my neck. But the number one thing I love about this car that I think Dodge has forgotten about and lost their ever-loving minds with this new 24 and 25 Charger EV thing, which is what we all love about this car, I think the most, is its simplicity. It's not complicated. They simply found a beautiful, near perfect body style, retro styling, and they threw a wide body on it halfway through, and they made this thing look incredible. Whether it's a wide body or not, this thing is simple. It's beautiful. The lines are awesome. The wheels are great. Everything about this car is just awesome. There's no weird, check out this R-wing named after some guy. There's nothing weird like that. It's simple. Look how simple this wing is, the badging, everything. This wing, it's been the same damn wing since they came out with these things originally. It's the most like strange shaped, just triangle they slapped on the back of a car. And sometimes if you get one with a badge on the back, you get a cheap plastic badge on the back. Everything is just awesome. Simple lights. You want to tint the lights, you want to do this, go to Lux Auto Concepts and you could do it. I have not done it to this car. Every other one I did, black out the centers, and I might still do it on this thing, but I've just loved this thing, and blacked out all the marker lights and stuff. But it's just simple. Nothing insane about it. You look at it and it is what it is. And I think that's why it was so popular. You didn't have to walk around and really get into it. You see it going by you on the freeway and you can't help but to look over and go, this thing is awesome. And it was cheap. Cheap parts, cheap everything. There's cheap freaking gas can, nothing fancy. There's no thing to pull inside to pop this thing open. It just, you just get out and you do this and you put your gas in. I mean, the whole car is just basic as you could possibly imagine. No crazy tech or anything else. The second thing I love about this version, and this is something that's only, I mean, it's applicable to those of you that do want this and love this, is those 3 pedals right there. I got the 6-speed manual, and I wanted the 6-speed manual for a long time, which makes me one with the car. Does it make the car slower? Of course it does. Of course an automatic's gonna beat me. Who the hell am I racing? I don't have a helmet in here or anything. I just drive around in this car, and it's fun and it's exciting, and I get to pump these gears and drive around and feel like I'm in control of this thing, and I love it. Number 3 is its reliability, but I'll tell you, this car has been 0 problems. Now at the beginning, there was a bolt loose on my starter apparently that was causing the car to die. But you know what was awesome? Because that starter bolt was loose, it was not starting, I was able to literally just push the clutch in, put the car in reverse, take the brake off, roll out of my driveway and start the car. But that was it. Once they fixed it, this thing has been great. Yes, build quality issue I have talked about before, not reliability related, has just been that they didn't glue these doors down enough. And that's something that's been that way almost 2-3 months after I bought it. But that side is perfectly fine. The reliability, I have had no problem. So those of you that comment all the time on my videos and go, I wouldn't buy a Dodge, piece of junk Dodge. I wouldn't buy one either if it said 2024 on it. And 2023 had some little build quality issues, but overall, they're very reliable. I'm now, by the way, this is important, I'm at 21,000 miles. I just put a brand new set of tires on here, and I just did the oil change again. I stay on top of the service and on top of the maintenance on this car, and maybe that's why I have had no problems. I don't rag the daylights out of it. Yeah, I might do some donuts here and there and have a little fun with it when it's in a safe place and private property, so I can't go to jail. But bottom line is I don't rag the car out. I take good care of it, and it's been absolutely flawless. Now that I said that in this video, I'm sure the tranny's gonna go out. I'm just kidding. It's full warranty, so I'm good. Haven't had to do brakes or anything yet at all, so whatever the recommended maintenance, I just tell them do it, and then they give me my car back, so it's been perfect. So reliability, and this is my daily driver, folks. In a year and a half, I've done 21,000 miles. So do the math, and I drive other cars, so I drive a lot. But this is my daily, going all over Southern California for work, and it's been absolutely flawless. Number 4, I get compliments everywhere I go. It doesn't matter where, and a day doesn't go by that somebody does not compliment me about my car. Does not stop, whether it's at the freaking car wash or whether I'm just getting out of my car at one of my offices or windows down, driving through a parking lot today. The guy yells out the window, I love your car. And it doesn't matter. This thing is loved by all. Kids, women, men, old people, young people, does not matter where they come from, who they are. One thing we all have in common is they love this damn car. They love how it looks. I think you would agree, comment below. And number 5, and this might be important to you, if you're a big guy, a little guy, a medium-sized guy, doesn't matter. This is a comfortable damn car. This thing is great. Now, it's tight in the back, not too bad. Better than most small cars, obviously. But the front, this is a comfortable car. Look at these freaking seats. You could put one of these in your living room, put a remote control next to you, and be just fine watching TV in this sucker. This thing is a beast. Big, huge, comfortable seats. Next, I love that this thing is low tech. Start this thing up and show you around in here. Simple buttons to drop the windows. It doesn't take a genius to figure out where the hell the buttons are. And I know that sounds like a stupid thing, but jump in my wife's Land Rover and you can sit there and fumble around looking for buttons and switches to do things forever. My Lamborghini, everything's reversed and complicated and backwards. This thing's simple. Everything's right here. Your memory seats are right there. Got the Alpine stereo, which is the cheapest, one of the cheaper stereos, and it sounds like a muscle car stereo should sound. Not freaking great, but not horrible. It does the job. And then on the dash, you've got the good old-fashioned analog gauges. I love that. I mean, sometimes the screens can be cool, the big screens, but I think everybody's getting a little over the screens and all the crap you got to do to figure what's on those things or customize them to yourself. This thing's simple. You've got some buttons on the steering wheel where I can change what shows up here in the different areas. See your gas mileage and all that fun stuff. But what I also love over here is you got the performance pages. You've got everything everything you need in this car if you want to have some fun with it, do some 0 to 60 runs, and check out the temperature on your fluids. And it's got the timers, the gauges, your G-force gauge, your dyno, shows you the horsepower that's going on. Anything you need. You got a history. You can even stick a USB plug in there and snapshot screenshots of this thing, I believe. I've never done it before, but you can. But other than that, what I love also is everything's pretty simple. I've got Apple CarPlay, which is you just plug the phone in and go, or you can set it up wirelessly. But what I also love, which so many cars have gone to, these haptic response buttons. I don't know about you all, but I didn't grow up with a ton of money and anything that any even thought that I would use the word haptic in my lifetime. And this has real buttons. You push them and you feel the buttons go in. Here, all this stuff, push a button and your drive modes will come up. You got your launch button. My wife thought it was lunch button. I'm like, no honey, it doesn't make any sense. It's launch. Parking sensors off. I can just push a button to do anything. I don't have to try and figure it out. I want to turn the radio up. Oh my God. Comment below if you agree with me. Turn the radio up, turn the radio down with a knob. Pushing a button to get the radio to go down or up, I can't stand it. Next, this thing is strangely practical. Let's first go back here. I've got a massive, massive trunk that you don't get with cars nowadays. You got a humongous trunk, and the back seats fold forward. I can fold those things forward and literally go to Home Depot and bring a ladder home, which I've done before. But just pull this thing down, you pull the other one down, you've got all this storage. And then it has this. You walk away with your keys in your pocket, it'll tell you. It's not one of the 10, but number 8 is this thing does have a 5-star safety rating. Now I recognize that some of the crash testing, some were good, some were adequate, but overall, this is a 4,481 pound car. This is a beast compared to so many cars out there nowadays that are very flimsy, like that thing turning right at the light. If I hit that guy's not going to survive. I am. This Hemi's gonna go right through that thing. This is a beast. It's got phenomenal side impact ratings, and for the size and weight and just monstrousness of this thing, I feel very safe. Number 9 is, I believe this is the best driving experience. Now yes, Hellcats are awesome, but I've owned several. I've owned, I think, 2 Hellcats and maybe 1 Hellcat and a Hellcat Red Eye. Bottom line is, they're spinning machines. They're fun, they're awesome, they sound awesome. Believe me, they're great. But for the money, you're getting so much for the money in this thing. With the 485 horsepower, would I have liked it to have maybe 50 horsepower more and it would be near perfect? Absolutely. When you're out on the highway, and I'm out on the freeway cruising PCH or the coastal highway, and I've got this thing in 6th gear and I'm moving, I mean, it's got all the power I need at almost any speed. I need to downshift and stomp on it and get up and go. It jumps on the highway fast. It does everything I want it to do, and it doesn't spin like crazy. Can I spin it? Absolutely. Have I? Absolutely. I enjoy doing that, even though it goes through tires. But this thing has all the power I need. I believe it's the single best. If you're gonna daily drive one and you wanna have fun while you're out there daily driving, this is the right amount of power, and this is the perfect version. From looks to power to drivability, usability of the power, this thing is phenomenal. And lastly, number 10. Number 10 is the price and availability. Sadly, the Dodge dealers screwed us all over for the last 2-3 years, maybe 3-4 years through COVID with these things, and sent the prices to the moon, along with the manufacturer taking advantage of the opportunity and raising MSRPs so stupidly that it got to a place to where these stopped being the everyday man's car, which is what made me love them, because everybody, whether you're rich or not rich, could aspire to push a little bit and get their hands on one of these things. Well, now the good news is since they're not making them anymore, they've changed the body style, they've come out with this stupid electric thing, nobody wants that. You can buy one of these things. You can buy one of these things for between $40,000 and $55,000 with a wide body, depending on how many miles are on them. And you can, I mean, this is a special edition, and I go watch my last video. You can find them in the 50s with low miles all day long. If do not pay what the dealers tell you they're going to be worth someday, when they tell you you need to pay $75,000, $80,000, you're going to pay $50,000 maybe even into the 40s. And if you go back to 2022 and you get some reasonable miles, not too many miles, you're gonna have a pretty damn reliable car, a lot of fun in the $40,000 to $50,000 range with a wide body, with everything you want. If you can find a manual, unlike like in the supercar world, where a manual transmission makes the car worth double, in the muscle car world, and in today's world where kids don't know how to drive manuals, these things are cheaper. Dealers will do anything to get rid of the manual versions because 90% of the people that come in there to buy them under the age of 30. And now I love all of you guys that are watching, and gals that are even watching, that know how to drive manuals, but so many of these kids were never taught how to drive manuals. So you can get these things for cheaper. In this case, the dealer was willing to dance with me because they knew the manual was going to be a challenge. And every time somebody came in, they're like, I love that color, I love that look, I love everything about it. Oh, it's a manual, and they just didn't want it. And you know, a lot of the older guys who want to take this thing to the track, you know, they don't want a manual for that reason. So as a muscle car, I mean, the automatic's going to be faster. But if you want a manual, you're going to save some money. You get the dealerships to come down on a used car even more because they know it's going to be harder to sell. So the availability and the price of these things means to buy a used one, as long as you get a good PPI on it, I'm telling you, because these cars have been ragged out by people. They have driven them too hard. They have worn them out. So at the very least, make sure you go through it with a fine-tooth comb. If you can get one still under warranty, even better. And if you get one that's been well taken care of, like I've taken good care of mine, then you'll have an awesome car for many years to come. And no, it's not an investment. No, it's not going to go up in value. Yes, you will love it, enjoy it, and you will have so much fun with it that you will never want to buy or drive another car. And Dodge, my message to you is you really screwed up with this EV thing, because you got so many tens of thousands of people that would have been lined up to buy the same exact car if it was a 2024 with the same exact engine, if all you would have done is maybe add a USB-C port. I know it sounds so stupid, but I kept buying them every single year just to get the next year one with the new warranty and everything on it. I mean, it's just, people would have bought them. Instead, you got people like me that right now I should be doing a video on my new Dodge Charger Scat Pack with a Hemi in it, because I would have bought one. But instead, I'm talking about my 2023, and I'm going to keep talking about my 2023, and hopefully I inspired some of you who don't own these things to go out and pick one up and enjoy the hell out of it, drive the hell out of it, have fun, and just rev the shit out of that engine everywhere you go. And if you really want to have fun, cut the mid mufflers off of this thing, spend 150 bucks at your muffler shop at the most, probably find a guy to do it for 50, and boom, this thing turns into one of the loudest beasts on the road. And it's still quiet once it's warmed up and you're just sitting at a light. But when you stomp on it, it sounds insane. That is something I love, and you don't have to put speakers in the back and get a 600 watt amp to get some exhaust sounds. So with that, everybody, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think about this thing, and I will see you all in the next one. Told y'all I'd find it. Came home, walked in my office, and here it is. My black mic sitting on my desk. Guess where it was? In my jeans. Guess what happened? My wife washed it. This thing made it through a full wash cycle and still works perfectly. Thanks, DJI. Good job. Great mic. Bye, everybody.